All right. Welcome to another episode of the Interfaith podcast, which is a podcast with our FIU online courses in religious studies and politics and international relations. I'm your host, Professor Iqbal Akhtar, and we're very honored to have two guests who are students in our Jewish-Muslim dialogue group. They've been very consistent, which has been great to have them come and talk to us. So they're going to talk to us a little bit about who they are, their background, what they're studying, and then we'll get into kind of the dynamics of sort of interfaith dialogue, especially among students. So take it away.
I'm Currea. I'm a sophomore here at FIU. I joined the class because I love studying religion. And it's not my major, so any class I can take that's related to it, I definitely jump on it, especially because it was one credit. I had some professors recommend it and got to meet some interesting people.
Are you in the honors college too?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hello, my name is Serhan Özgül. I'm from Germany, but originally I'm from Turkey. What was the question again?
Tell us a little bit
More
about
about
yourself.
myself. Yeah. So, I also participated in the Jewish-Muslim fellowship. I'm Muslim. I was born and raised actually as a Muslim. I was a long time, though, I raised as a Catholic. I went to a Catholic elementary school, a Catholic kindergarten. Also during my high school time, especially my final diploma, I took Catholic courses.
Okay.
So I was dealing with a lot of like Catholicism as religion. A long time I was though agnostic throughout my youth. And more like the last 3 years, I found myself more in my parents' religion. I deal with it more, and I fell in love with it and I embraced it.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about your religious background.
So I'm Christian. Both of my parents are Christian. We've become more into our faith since COVID. Like we spent a lot more time together. Realized that we need to be more grounded in our beliefs. But yeah, I'm Protestant. My father's side of the family is Catholic. My other side of the family is closer to Seventh-day Adventists.
Okay.
So kind of in the middle of those ideologies.
Okay, interesting. And what are you guys studying, and what do you plan on doing?
So I'm studying here at college economics.
Okay.
I'm thinking of doing a double major. What my double major is going to be, I don't know. I'm thinking of maybe doing something finance, maybe going computer science. But I like also those international relations things that we do, or like those religious science stuff. So I'm really like still finding myself. So what I should do.
Okay. I think religious studies would be great. It's a fun.
I would take your courses.
Yeah, of course. Please.
I'm doing international relations, so
you're also doing.
I would definitely tell you to do that.
International relations, yeah. That's really
so I'm doing that through SIPA, and then business and government leadership through the Adam Smith Center.
Okay, all right, great. And then you're going to DC in next semester, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm halfway there. I got into the DC campus,
Wonderful.
But I haven't really found an internship yet. But I hear back, hopefully 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Okay, good. And so what brought you to the Jewish-Muslim dialogue course?
So for me, it's like, as I said, I'm born and raised in Germany. I went to the high school of Joseph Goebbels. I was born and raised in Mönchengladbach, which is in Germany. And particularly my high school, we call it Gymnasium, was his gymnasium. So during the time of the Nazi era, was called also the Joseph Goebbels Gymnasium because it was his. And our city has, since it was his home city, had a strong relationship with the Nazi regime. So especially our city is engaging a lot of like anti-Semitism workshops and remembrance culture. So this is how I grew up. I was participating, but also volunteering in a lot of those kind of events, fostering more democratization, fighting against radicalization, extremism, political extremism, but also particularly anti-Semitism. So I was hosting some of those events as well, like working on project management. We invited the mayor, for instance, and other institutional non-profit organizations that help us engaging in this. Personally, I see myself, as I said, as a Muslim, but because I was more into Wahhabism, much more Islamic extremism, I was lost for inside that. It's very difficult to notice it. That's why, as you know. And I got out of it, and it's like I have much more a mission to like help people to understand that this form of radicalization is not good, that human beings should live their life as they want to live it, and that we shouldn't have the right to judge and interfere in the lives of people. We should help people to, yeah, as I said, like live in peace and harmony. And
So what took you out of Wahhabism?
what took me out of Wahhabism? So the thing is that I had a very difficult relationship with Islam in the beginning. My father was very forceful when it came to religion. My mom is a Kemalist, so she has not really a lot of things to do with their religion in general. They take it much more private and say that liberal, like secularists.
Right.
So they say that you should do it when you want to do it, but nobody's going to force you to do it. My father's much more conservative, so he would force it on you. He would be like, when you want to go traveling with me, you need to memorize this in this chapter of the Quran. And I would be like, I'm too lazy to do this. I'm not into it. On the other hand, I was also bullied in the mosque, so I have for a long time had really problems with like self-esteem and self-confidence, and those kind of moments. Like when I was a child, they shaped me a lot. So it instilled me like in hate against Islam. So for a long time, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. This is for like a longer time. Then during COVID, as you, very similar. I found myself much more in theism. I engaged much more with the question of God, and it was, I think, very like important for a lot of people during that time. And I found myself much more into also Islamic theology. I was studying it much more, and it was mostly over social media, TikTok and Instagram Islam, which is basically extremism prime. So there you go, embrace and got indoctrinated in a sim, like in a small way. I never noticed it though, so I accepted it as the true Islam. And people see Arabs as Muslims. We do. We consider Arabs as the good Muslims, or like the perfect example as Muslims. So you would dress like them, you would wear things like them, you would talk like them, and you would be like really fully obsessed with like the Arabic culture and etc. And the thing is that Saudi Arabia is the prime example for, as I said, Wahhabism. So I would try to be more like them. Until there was a girl, she wanted to convert, and I helped her to get into like a mosque. But I never knew the imam that was like doing those conversions, etc. So he was calling me. In the meanwhile, I was working in the start of tech, and he was like, "Hey, that's interesting. Can you help me getting in?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm imam." And I was like, "Wow, you're an imam as well." And we got into like good conversations, but the vibes are really chill. He invited me over to his mosques, and then he saw that I'm really also intellectual. I'm really engaging. I tried to get into university, which is a big thing going to America.
Yeah, of course.
For us Germans, is a big thing.
Yeah.
So he invited me to his usul al-fiqh classes. So there I learned that it's much more than just like taking a hadith and doing whatever you want to do. And he helped me a lot of also to get this like it's like you call it radicalization, and like people associate with like ISIS and like Taliban and Hamas, but it is a much more internalized extremism applied on yourself. So it's much more, and when I do this, I will go to hell. When I do this, this is bad. I can't touch a woman. I can look at a woman. I can't like breathe next to a woman. You know, like you're getting like OCD like vibes, and you try to emancipate you, but you think that a form of during the process, like trying emancipating you, is like you doing something wrong, like blasphemous or whatever. But alhamdulillah, he helped me really out of this. He taught me like a better path, and since then he gives me better books and teachings, etc. And then like, it was my first year, so like since now like 2 years has passed already, this is where I got out.
Okay. What about you? What got you interested in the course and exploring kind of this type of engagement?
So I had met a friend, the first Muslim that I had really become like good friends with, and I never really knew very much about Islam. Like as you said, sort of like religion from social media. Like that's all I really saw, and I realized that I just didn't know about religion. I've traveled so much. I know cultures, I know foods, but I didn't know the people's beliefs. So I figured that was a really big hole in my knowledge, and. Yeah, so I signed up for the Middle East and Muslim World Certificate as part of that, and then I saw this class being offered actually through the Honors College. They sent out an email about the fellowship. I was like, that's awesome, I'm going to do that.
Wonderful.
And I was kind of concerned because I'm Christian, and I saw it was a Jewish and Muslim dialogue, so I was like, maybe I'm just going to be sitting in the corner, like, quietly listening. Like you encouraged me to speak as
Of
well and
course.
sort of like share my perspective. And I really enjoyed the conversations we had. I learned a lot.
So tell us some of the stuff that you learned, or what kind of was struck out most to you in terms of like what you gained from being in the conversations. Yeah.
How much we agreed on things.
Okay.
Like I thought it was gonna be a little bit more like heads butting.
Yeah.
But we agreed on all the fundamental things. Like we both did, all three of us, all of our religions deserve to be peacefully coexist. We all wanted to find, commonalities among us and really just have peaceful discussions. And that's what everybody was there for. Nobody was there for a fight.
Right.
Nobody was there to, prove that their religion was the right one, their religion was superior, none of that, which I wasn't really expecting. It was sort of at the back of my mind. I tried to go in there with as much of an open mind as possible, but I was really, really happy about it.
From your perspective, like, what do you think that other students could learn about a course like this, or what do you think that we could incorporate into like other courses where students would? What type of skills do you think that you could gain from a course like this?
Learning the importance of peaceful discussions.
Okay.
And it's not just to reach a conclusion or have everybody agree on one thing, but it's just for the sake of discussion, just to have it. I think it's really important. I think it's something that's so lost on society now, that we view just somebody discussing things as you're compromising your values or what you believe in.
Right.
In fact, it's the opposite. You're affirming what you believe in and you're sharing it, which I think everyone should do.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you? What are something that you learned, or what have you gained from the experience?
I learned much more about Judaism than I thought. It was really interesting. Like,
me too.
As I said, I studied a lot of Christianity already, and my religion is it's basic. But Judaism, like, I had always the question like in my mind, okay, what's the difference between Jews and Muslims?
Right.
Which was really interesting because I knew that the thing that sets Muslims and Christians apart is especially the Trinity, right? And
exactly,
Jesus.
yeah.
But what's the thing that sets us apart?
Right.
I know from a Muslim standpoint, it's the question of Muhammad. So is he not a prophet or not?
Right.
But for the Jews, it's like, what is the problem? So this was like really interesting to see. What I also learned is that the internal structure of Judaism is very similar to Islam.
Absolutely.
Like we have the different school of laws, we have mysticism, a mystical version of Islam, like we have the Tariqat. They have the similar things. They consider them Orthodox. We have secular Muslims, right? Like Turkish Muslims. They're like, we are Muslim, we don't have anything to do with it.
Right.
And then you have secular Jews, and it's this basically the same. And it was like crazy. They were talking about what do you need to do in order to get to paradise, and he was talking about the Noah's laws, and I'm like, that's the same thing. And we have the same requirements, same conditions, same. I was like, what's the difference? What sets you apart from me? What is making you better than me? So this was very interesting to learn. On the other hand, something that I would say about your point is that the thing is that when we are like in this very agitated society, and when we're not really engaging in conversations and discussion with the opposite, what happens is that I'm installing a picture of this person in my mind, and like, this is what I believe that is the true case. So why I'm thinking this way about Jews, am I like forcing myself to believe in this, and then I'm applying this concept on every other person, and I'm expecting everybody being like that. And then you sit with them actually, and you see they're just a human being like you. They have the same problems, they have the same questions, they also have exams, they also have money problems maybe, whatever, like they have problems with their girlfriends. It's like, you see, the problems are all the same. The solutions may be different. They go read the Bible, or read the Torah, I will read the Quran, or whatever, right? And I met, yesterday, it was really funny, I met a Turkish Jew.
Okay.
Which is, for me, it's like, this is what I mean. It's like, I just know Turkish people being Muslims. Right? So when I met them, the Turkish Jew, and he was starting Turkish, speaking Turkish, I was like, this is real. So this was really interesting, and I'm like, the concepts that you have of a Jew, they were not applying. This is like, so I was not getting those vibes. I was like, it's difficult. So those are like kind of moments in my life when I'm like, that it's like indoctrinations. You are out to believe in a specific way, but it's not true. It's not. When you meet those people, you definitely realize that this is not what it is. Actually, it doesn't make even sense. It's just a point of ideology, maybe imagination, a picture that you have created in your mind about those people, very often, frequently, about hate.
Right.
But I don't know from where it comes from. We had also yesterday our final discussion, right?
Yes.
With John.
Yeah.
And I also talked with him about it. And I was like, why do have people always this hostility towards everybody else? It's like, I heard it's like an evolutionary thing that we instantaneously, when there's something new, we react with fear or with with like concerns and very like doubt. But I'm like, why is this always leading us to hate the other person? Because when I go into a room and I see people, it doesn't matter from where, doesn't matter which religion or sexuality or even background, I'm not looking at a person, I'm like, okay, you're falling into this category, I hate you now, you're falling into this category, I love you now. This is not the way how it should be and how it acts. I sit in a room, there could be Republican, there could be a Democrat. I mean, try to see the human being behind him, right? And I think this is also something my mom always tried to teach me, see the human being rather than the religion. Because you can have in your own religion, he said, asshole.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It doesn't matter if he's a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew. Wherever you will go, you will find some people that will lie, they will cheat, they will deceive, they will do bad things to you, they will murder, whatever. She said, don't take, just because he's a non-Muslim, don't take him as your family, or don't take him as, no, he's no better human being than him. She said that anybody could be better. It doesn't matter which religion they follow. So I really go by this ideal.
I always say we all bleed red.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Good summary.
We talked a bit about also the Israel-Palestine conflict as well. That was like, I think that came up quite a bit at that time as well. What is your understanding of the conflict and like kind of what's happening through the dialogue? Did you get new perspectives in terms of what's happening?
How biased both sides are. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Because I just hear from the Muslim bubble, right? So I hear the Israeli government is doing this and the Israeli government is doing that. And I'm like, And now you hear them talking about what happened to them. And you're like realizing that 1 second, they're both sides to the same scenario, right? Yeah. And I think the most shocking story that I heard, like what happened, not like in fiction, is like when Hamas was on 7th October going to this concert, and then like killing 1,300 people, and then like shooting them to their genitals and recording everything, posting and then submitting on in the internet. And I'm like, what are you expecting? And government to react on this, right? There's no, this won't be chill anymore. There are like lines to be crossed. And if it would be just an attack on military institutions or whatever, it's still not legitimating what happened. And it's still bad, but it would be still different than rather than just attacking random civilians on the street. So I think it helped me to see that there are both sides to the picture, and that it is not really black and white, that there are more things included in this whole situation. And it helped me also much more to judge it objectively rather than like being, as I said, in this Muslim bubble.
Just on one side,
Exactly. It's not one side anymore. I can see both sides. I still see both sides falls. This would be a big fall on the Palestinian side. I could also name plenty on the other side. So I always believed in that when it comes to an argument and discussion, when there's a fight, both did something wrong. So I never really believed that even in a war that could be the truth. I see it here. I realized that I realized it that moment as well. So it's the same thing here. It helped me a lot.
What about you in terms of understanding the conflict? Did it give you different perspectives or different understanding?
Yeah, so as an IR major, I'm used to my classes being very factual. This is the law, this is the history, this is the circumstances. We're not going to give you our opinion, but these are all the facts. And then you have students that are just emotionally charged about it and will try to debate those facts. It's all about facts. What I liked in the discussion, it was about how does this make you feel as a Muslim or as a Jew? How did this affect you? Did you have family? How has this changed how you feel your life in America, especially in Miami, as diverse as it is? How's your life changed because of this? Even down, like we talked, even how this affected domestic politics, how this affected halal, the protests on campus. I like that we brought such an international issue and made it about FIU. And like about the people in the room.
I liked it as well. John asked those questions always, like, how does it make you feel though, right here on campus? It's really interesting to learn new things.
Which makes it more of a discussion than an argument.
Exactly.
Which I really liked. Like we were able to bond over the fact that it affected everybody. Not just like I'm right, you're wrong. It was like we both kind of suffered because of this.
Yeah, I was very shocked. I mean, I think one of the good things about having John as a kind of a partner, and the both of us leading it, I'm coming from the teaching side, and he's coming from the campus, sort of lived experience and kind of the stories that he was telling in terms of like what students are coming to tell him, and kind of how people feel like, I think the saddest part about it all is how here in the United States, people didn't feel safe. And I think that has been something that has been a big change, because when I was going to university, 9/11 happened, and I was at, there's a big number. It's kind of a Jewish university, or so there are a lot of Jewish people at the university, and they really made sure that we as Muslim students felt safe. And they made sure that, like, they put extra security around where we were staying after 9/11, because there was a lot of hatred against Muslims after September 11th. I mean, it was everywhere, all over the place. And, there was there were people being, targeted, and there was a couple of people got killed because they were Muslim. Mosques were being shot at. I mean, it was a kind of a very scary moment. So it was very, very sad to hear that the Jewish students were feeling the same way. And that they were being harassed and they were being attacked, because I felt like after September 11th, at least the Jewish community kind of really protected Muslim students. And it was very sad that in a situation like that, I would have liked ideally that Muslim faculty and students would have been able to defend their Jewish sort of, compatriots, right? And it was actually the opposite, where Muslim students were harassing Jewish students and making them feel unsafe. So I think that's been very, very hard to see, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And kind of like going off of that, one of the students from the dialogue class was saying that he's born in this country, he's a Jew, and he said that after October 7th, people stopped seeing him as an American, and only as a Jew. Like I was born here too. I'm just so disappointed.
It's very, very sad.
It's very sad, and also
both sides of the aisle. I mean,
right.
Like reducing somebody down to a conflict on the other side of the world.
Exactly.
Instead of you're a human.
Yeah.
And even more than that, you're my fellow American.
Right.
No, it's interesting because, how can I say it? Like, I come from Germany, so the way how I see things is always very different than to how Americans see it, right? So for us, we didn't have really Billy culture on campus.
Yeah.
We didn't really have things where we didn't feel unsafe when it comes to the gun problem, right? Those were not things for us. So I could say my opinion, and I was feeling safe because I knew that the worst thing that's going to happen is someone's going to stand up and is going to punch me but there will be people, my friends, myself, that can defend me, right? So, exactly. But here it's a bit different because the security measurements sometimes are not really, how can I say, sophisticated. So you don't know if the opposite is currently bearing or not. Exactly. Can you say whatever you want to say currently in a moment? Right. Are you going to do something that is going to make this person so upset that they're going to take those kind of measurements because they are, I don't know, mentally disturbed? So those are the things that I see. On the other hand, it's like, being in Germany, we are very far away of a lot of things that are happening. Like, for instance, Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we're closer to it, but still, like, it's a thing for us, while it's still far away. So how we do see those things is like, we just know them from stories. We talk about Nazi, we talk about Hitler, we talk about all the things that happened, like the Shoah, and we're talking about this very often, but it becomes much more like a story rather than reality. And hate against people, this is not something that we really see. We see, of course, on the street someone who's just pissed and is like talking to you in a very derogatory way, but really racism is not something we perceive. So when I came here, it changed. So for the first time, I see this hatred that everybody's talking about in real life, because I was on campus. I also told this in the dialogues, right? And then like those students came to me and they were like making anti-Semitic jokes, and like not even like in a way how you would do it under people without anybody noticing it, and nobody would say anything about it. Like, no, like publicly screaming and like screaming Nazi bubble. And they asked me where I'm from. I said I'm Germany. So they went direct into this Nazi bubble. And those are things that are scary things, how they see this hatred being normal and being, how can I say it? Yeah, normal.
Yeah.
So the hatred things was scary.
Yeah. I think for the students that are watching, what is it like something that you would like to tell other students who are kind of interested in sort of peace building and sort of interfaith dialogue?
asking questions is the point.
Okay.
It's like if you have a question, you have a stereotype in your head, get it out, ask it, maybe do some research before.
Okay.
But that this is a place to sort of get over that and realize that that's just, it's like brain rot. It's just brain rot that you see online. None of it's true. And you can only really get over that once you meet face to face with that person. You realize like, wow, that was totally off base. This person and I are actually really similar. You sort of get over that. I think it's really important to have these kinds of discussions everywhere, in religion, politics. Like, we need to start seeing each other as humans instead of, like you mentioned, their box, their label.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why we decided to do it this way, and then also have some food as well, which I think is always helpful. Yeah. And then just sit.
The wraps up.
And we can all bond over falafels.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, the chickens were really good, right? Well,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, just having it in person, I think, is a whole different quality than doing on Zoom or something like that.
Exactly, definitely.
Yeah.
What I would say, I think, is a bit difficult. I know students, they have not really a lot of time engaging in those kind of discussions and debates. It's much more like, I like doing it as a passion,
of course,
so
exactly.
I invest my time in it. And I will be definitely busy. The only thing I can give to people is, especially students, is that currently we all become adults, right? We're children, teenagers, we're going from this youth step known to new world, let's call it. And the problem is that there are things that I can do as a child, things that I can do in mid school and high school, saying things maybe like, having those kind of patzers, which is fine because you're still learning, right? My history professor, Dr. Jones, said, you're developing until you're 37. You take those years, do your mistakes and do your errors. But on the other hand, like, you should also start thinking like an adult, acting like an adult, and going onto campus and insulting people and screaming, kill Israel or whatever. Or I'm going on campus very often. I hear often Christians talking very derogatory about Muslims and doing very Islamophobic statements and those kind of stuff. And I'm like, why would you do this? Because you might disagree to his ideology, his religion, his whatever he believes in. This doesn't empower you, though, to sit there and make derogatory jokes in terms of like insulting, being racist, And for me, it's feeling, how can I say it? I don't feel secure or safe.
Right, of course.
I went to the Charlie Kirk gathering. Right. So Charlie Kirk was murdered. I think it was on September the 13th, the 12th. Yeah. On the same or the next day, they did like a gathering. Exactly.
The memorial event?
Exactly.
I was there.
You were there? Yeah. Oh my God, it was so scary. So anyways, so I went, like a friend of mine, he was really into like Republican things, which is crazy. Goes, okay. But he asked me if I want to join. And I was like, I'm not really into this. He was not really supporting Muslims in general. Yeah. But I was like, at the end, still as a human being, still I want to set in a statement that this was wrong, that you don't murder people, that this is not the solution. So I said, let's go join the praying session, the ceremony, right? And sit there and make a statement. And I was sitting there and they were all being very emotional, which was very interesting on the one hand, but they started to talk about how this is now a spiritual war of Christianity against Islam. And I'm like, this kind of rhetoric, I don't like it. It's like getting very aggressive and agitating. And I'm sitting there as a Muslim and I feel very uncomfortable, especially because two of my friends are not like me, having the privilege looking very German, coming from like Arabia or from Pakistan, and you can see that they're Muslim, and then like their looks coming on you. And we get in, and this is the thing that I as a German have done in my mind, is like they didn't do testing at all. They didn't look if we checked, if we have guns on us or whatever. So we were sitting there, all those people being very emotional. People when they're extremely emotional, they don't know what they're doing, right? So I was really uncomfortable. Next moment I heard that, I left. So those are like kind of moments that are really shaping me here on campus, that make me feel unsafe as well. Yeah. So I see that there's like how can I say it, thing of ideologies getting currently strong. Like, it's university, of course you're going to be like, one day you're communist, one day you're, I don't know, Democrat. You need to find yourself, but it's currently weaponized against other people. And I see how a lot of people feel unsafe on campus, not only Jews, Muslims, Christians, etc.
In the next iteration of the dialogue group class, what do you think, what are some things that you think that we can improve upon, or what do you think we should do differently that might make it more effective?
It's a good question. I think I like the food part a lot. I like the timing. A lot of people were like, it's evening. I like the timing. The morning thing was even worse for me because I need to skip a class. So I think like, keeping it in the evening is good.
Okay.
It's not about, I think, the way how it was conducted, maybe the way how we're recruiting more people.
Yeah.
I think we need more people.
What do you
inside.
think we could do to recruit more people?
It's a very difficult thing. On the one hand, is we need to convince people to invest
time.
Yeah. On the other, making it interesting, right? On the third thing is people are discussing and debating and arguing a lot, and they're like, "Why should I take my free time arguing for free food? But let's go to Starbucks." Or so it's going to be a difficult thing. I think what I would wish more, getting more Muslims inside.
Yeah.
This would be more. What can I say?
Because initially, the first meeting, there was quite a number of Muslims, and then like basically they all.
Oh, but they were my friends.
Okay.
So I forced them.
You forced them.
So I was like, guys, you come with me.
Okay.
The two hijabis, right? But besides those two hijabis and me, there was no other Muslim. Again, of course, you.
Of course,
And Muhammad. But I think we need much more also stronger presence of the ones who are representing each group, right?
Exactly,
so we had, for instance, a session only one Jew, and then 3 Muslims,
exactly,
and then like one session, 1 Muslim, and then 6, 7, 8 Jews.
Right, exactly,
It's not really helping to pair up.
Exactly.
So it's a difficult thing. I would suggest reaching out to all those kind of student buddies, right? Like the clubs.
Yeah.
But I know I'm coming from those clubs, so I know how they think about those kind of events. So it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
What I can maybe suggest is to still finding any person of contact on those kind of groups and trying to convince. There will be definitely people, right? Okay. On the other hand, as we also discussed yesterday, maybe also make an outreach outside of our
university. That's right.
Trying to
make it more general,
recruit people from different campuses, different universities, and maybe inviting them over.
Bring them to come. Okay.
Maybe also having guest speakers over. Maybe people like seeing interesting and famous people.
Yeah.
I actually think the guest speakers might take away from, at least for me, like what the club was, or what the meetings were most.
Well, one of the things we're going to try to do next semester is do a movie as well.
Oh, okay.
Do like a screening of like a Palestinian-Israeli movie, and so that they can kind of do something a little bit different as well, and actually have the producer come and talk to the students and stuff like that. I think that would be kind of fun.
That would be definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe we can also talk more about maybe faculty, right?
Yeah.
Asking them if they can
come,
get this out. Yeah, faculty members, but I mean also that they can help getting it out to students
and
talk them.
Yeah, exactly.
We had this one history event about the winter crude on the First World War, and they reached out to our professor. We're like, we invite your whole class to come and join, and then we filled the whole room. So I think reaching out to faculty and asking them if they have if they are interested. There will be definitely people that will hear that or see it as a way to foster much more harmony around or between everybody.
All right.
I agree with what he said, that there should be more Muslim representation. I love the fact that we agreed on a lot of things, which is great. But I think what would make the discussion even better is to have people that we just disagree with.
Right.
Like,
yes.
On everything. That would just drive the point home.
Yeah.
Not because I'm argumentative.
But let me just
the point is not to argue. The point is to realize that you're more than what you disagree on.
Right.
It's seeing also the perspective of different Muslims as well. We have this big diverse opinions within Islam itself, right? The opinion of an Hanafi is going to be different than from a Shia, right? So we want to have much more people within those kind of conversations from the Muslim group. I'm also trying to get much more diversity inside. Right? But the Jews, for example, we had a secular Jew, we had an Orthodox Jew, right? Conservative Jew,
Israeli person,
etc. So it gave much more different perspectives because all of them had different perspectives on the same issue, even being in the same group.
Of course.
So for the Muslims, it would be also interesting to see if we can get, for instance, heavy insight by the Salafiyah or other people who might also offer their kind of discussions. I was feeling the whole time in those kind of debates, we're like trying to be politically correct and like not saying things.
I noticed everybody was kind of like on their best behavior.
Exactly. It's like in German we say Sunday face, like Sunday behavior, your best behavior you can demonstrate.
Do you think it got more real towards the end?
Yeah.
It got definitely.
I think everybody said at the end of the last class, not the one on Wednesday, but the last one I was on in the evening, was that we needed more people that disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we can have
we all
better
agree.
Discussion. Yeah, we all agreed. Like we just get along too well.
We all became friends. Like after the session, I would just go with everybody to Halal and we would just joke around.
Well, I mean, that's the thing I really am so happy about, that I feel like you guys have developed friendship together. And that's a really powerful and important thing. And it's gonna, for me, I think like the friendships that I had when I was in high school and college really had a huge impact in terms of like
Exactly.
me later in life as well. So it's wonderful that you're developing these networks, and I hope you're able to keep in touch with each other as
Of
well.
course.
You know,
And my
Good
whole
time.
like exploration of religion just stemmed from a friendship.
That's
I
it.
realized
Yeah,
how little
exactly.
I know
Yeah,
about other
exactly.
religions, and even my own. Like he was asking me questions about my own, and I was like, I never explored my religion from that standpoint.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
no idea how to answer that.
It's true.
That's
For
very
me,
good.
it was the same thing. It was like our friends, my friend group,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
started to become more religious,
Right,
and then
right,
like
right,
it was a thing. It was forced upon you, but like not like you were not feeling it. Everybody was just more engaging
Exactly,
with it,
that's
so
right,
you
yeah.
started also engaging.
And you don't
with
learn
it.
anything from an echo chamber.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
Right.
from social media,
Or from
definitely.
social
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah,
definitely.
no.
You know, the best thing how we can secure world peace is delete social media. I think there would be no depression anymore, hate
I
anymore,
agree.
Yeah.
agitation. Everybody would live in
I
peace.
was just telling him that I needed to delete TikTok.
Yes, I never installed it.
interesting.
I knew it's going to be the
Okay.
biggest rage bait.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you can
don't-
perceive it even in
yeah,
discussions.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry to take you away. I was talking with Christians, and I took my time to study Christianity. So I'm not they expecting with me when we have like a
Yeah.
discussion on things, like those kind of TikTok arguments of Muslims. I'm not following those arguments because I'm not watching. Like I'm
Exactly.
studying from a different perspective, but I sometimes see it on Instagram and YouTube. You see it. I'm also
Yeah.
using. I'm not living behind a rock. So I see how Christians are arguing, and then I see Christians coming to me in real life arguing the same way, and like you never deal with it.
Right.
You just watch it in like on social media, and
Yeah.
anybody talked about it, and I'm like, even when religion is something personal, it's not something. How can I say? Commercial,
Mm.
right? There are still also, for instance, in Islam, those kind of institutional things, right?
Exactly.
Ranking things, and we see it as you wouldn't go to an engineer to
Yeah.
have a question which is particularly to a doctor, right?
Right,
I would
right,
not ask him about which medicine I should take. I would ask him, can you help me repair my car?
Exactly.
Like a mechanic.
Yeah.
So you would go to someone who knows
Who's a
the
specialist,
study and
exactly,
a
right,
specialist
yeah,
and
yeah.
ask him questions about your religion because you want to make sure that he knows what he's
Yeah.
talking about. Because religion at the end is something that we take very lightly,
Right.
and we fall into it very blindly.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so dangerous, because they can sell you anything, and
That's
you
how
deem
cults start.
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and you take whatever they say as granted because you take it a person. You're like, yeah, this person looks really like
Yeah.
authentic.
Right.
When they talk, they're talking about the right
Yeah.
thing. So you take whatever they say, and this is the way of you fall into
Exactly.
Wahhabism as well.
Absolutely.
You take whatever they say, and it's just a random guy who also got it from a random guy who got it from a random guy, and you're like,
Who got it
Yeah.
from TikTok?
who got it from TikTok? Or talking to cults or
Or- yeah.
whatever. Like, you're like, and they're saying that this is Islam, this is Christianity, and like, it's not really.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is the thing. So
Take the
engaging
time
with
to
people-
study and learn. Yeah.
Exactly, take the time to study and learn, get much more, learn how to be respectful,
Right.
understand that those are not easy things, because I think religion is a very personal matter, as I said, but it's something I do embrace, like embracing it with everything I have,
Right.
and it's becoming my personality, it's becoming my everything, my life, my ideology, my heart. So when you attack it, it's like an attack against me, against, so it installs in me like in emotions. It's going to create emotions in me, and you don't want that there will be negative, right? I don't want to
Yeah.
hurt you. So I will sit there and I'm going to try in the most respectful way as possible, saying things the way I view them, not trying to put them into, like, not reducing them to absurdity or trying to
Yeah.
make it insultive. Like, of course, from a Muslim standpoint, maybe the Trinity concept might be that you don't understand that this is wrong.
Right.
Would be like, why you not understanding it? We make jokes
Yeah.
about it. The same vice versa. They would be like, how can you not understand it?
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
weren't making jokes about it. The thing is, if I would know you really well, you would like my best friend.
Yeah.
I think we can do those kind of jokes because I know that your intention behind doing those kind of jokes is pure, and
Right.
you just do it because we're friends. This is what friends nowadays do, insulting each other. But when it's like a random stranger on the street, pay attention to how you talk,
Right.
because people don't know your intention behind it, right? So those kind of things. It's already a very agitated moment, I think,
Yeah.
in our society. And I think we don't need much more idiots talking on the streets very loud and derogatory about people and harming and insulting and cursing.
Yeah. And you can kind of like get over that by practicing,
Yeah.
like becoming more respectful through practice. Like you really can't do it any other way. This is
Yeah,
exactly.
the only way to become a respectful debater. Not even debating, just sharing.
Right.
I wrote a paper on cancel culture, and this is the other argument that I would have to the same thing. On the other hand, people need to understand how to grow thicker skin.
Mhm.
There will be people saying things, and you should not always take it too personal. But like, for instance, there was this hate Christian hate preacher. And nobody told me that this is something you should not engage with. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
A hate preacher?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
ones
this
who are
guy
always
on
in
campus,
front of
yeah.
GC and screaming, you go to hell, and
They're
you
like,
go to hell.
they're like, are you going to hell? And they'll go
Yeah.
to me. They're like, you're going to hell. It's like, oh, okay.
It was really interesting conversation, and I reported the video they recorded because I didn't know they were recording us. They would do
They
it like much more. Yes, they were recording it. I didn't like
I didn't
it.
know that.
And he was starting to insult the prophet. And in those kind of moments, it's like I am not reacting very emotionally in those kind of moments
Yeah.
because it happened very often. So I'm like, okay, this is not really
Yeah.
an argument against me anymore.
Exactly.
I'm like, do it, but what is the purpose of you doing it in that moment?
Yeah.
Because the discussion he was talking about very funny, maybe also for you. We found the bones of Jesus, so this is proving he's God. And I was trying just to be rational. And I was like,
Wait,
I could find anybody's bones. This is not going to,
wait,
you
but
know.
that's not even possible though.
Yes,
because
it's
in
the whole
Christianity,
point.
yes.
Exactly.
Thanks. So I was like, so I was talking
He
to him.
actually said that?
I was trying to talk in the most
Yeah.
respectful way I could. And he, as I said, people don't see immediately Muslim. So I was talking to him, and then the hijabi would come, and he was like, "Are you Muslim?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm Muslim." And then he was like, punchline after punchline. I'm like, there you go,
Yeah.
insulting your prophet, everything which is holy to you. And I'm like, he was trying to stay that I was trying the same way. And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to critically tell you that what you're saying is from a Christian standpoint stupid, and from my standpoint, you know. So it's not even what you're saying. You can believe in it. But why are you screaming everybody? Why are you spreading so much hate? I was saying in the video, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. Because when you're really believing in this is your belief. Believe in it, right? I would also not sit down with someone who's believing the earth is flat, and I would try to scream at him. I'm like, believe that the earth is flat. I'm not going to put you into a geography class and physics. You should not teach children. But this is something you can believe in. I think this is totally up to you.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Definitely, I don't like that. After that, he destroyed my mood the whole day because I was like,
Yeah. No, that would be me too. I mean, there's a little verse that talks about how you should share your belief. It's like, know in your heart what you believe and why you believe it, and share it with gentleness. It should never be like, well, you're wrong, this is why you're wrong.
Yeah, right,
Like you're so stupid, you're an idiot. Like that's
exactly.
First of all, nobody should be saying that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anybody. The bones thing is kind of funny though.
The both thing was there.
I've never heard of that before.
No, we don't even need to argue it from like a religious standpoint, right? Going into a religion and then arguing from there. We can also just go into like theism in general,
exactly.
right? What is the point of we not knowing what is not the right thing or not, right? So even when I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian or he's a Jew, we still not know for sure that this is the right thing. There's still this thing of I'm believing it, that it's true. So I'm making it myself. At the end, it's still remaining subjective. I would claim it's objective, right? To believe in God is objective for me. But personally, individually, it remains subjective. So why are you coming to me and trying to enforce it on me, calling everybody stupid? Because at the end, my background is different. I raise up differently. I have maybe different access to information, etc. So what I believe may be different to you, even when we're in the same religion.
Exactly.
I could be a Muslim, you could be a Muslim, and you could still have the different belief than me. We could still disagree on points because still your background is going to have a huge, huge impact on whatever you believe in the moment.
Exactly. Well, I wanted to thank you both for sticking with me through the entire process. I know it was it's quite a ride. I think in terms of like every experience, every session was quite an experience. I think when you're done.
It's not going to end though, right? We're
No, we're going to keep
January.
going. We're definitely going to keep going. But I really appreciate it. And I'm very thankful to have you guys as students and to be able to join me on this journey. So thank you.
Thank you. Let us go.
All right.